I'm just a stickman, but today I'll walk you through humanity's darkest laboratory. From caves to concrete cities, from stone tools to artificial minds. I don't just tell the story, I live inside it. Sometimes I'm the observer, sometimes I'm the victim, and sometimes I'm the scientist who crossed the line. History isn't always written with ink. Sometimes it's written with screams, scars, and people who were never meant to be remembered. Back in the Stone Age, experiments were simple and brutal. Survival was the only science. Humans tested pain, endurance, and fear on each other without knowing it. Who bleeds less? Who runs faster? Who survives the cold? There were no white coats, no clipboards, just instincts and stones. I stand there as a stickman hunter, watching tribes learn through loss. The first human experiments weren't done in labs. They happened around fires, inside caves, and beneath empty skies. Fast forward to ancient civilizations, where curiosity gained structure. Egypt, Greece, Rome. Knowledge became power. Prisoners and slaves became test subjects. Doctors sliced without mercy. Poisons were measured on living bodies. I appear as a stickman captured, strapped to a table, while philosophers debate ethics outside the room. Progress was praised, suffering ignored. Empires grew smarter, but not kinder. Every discovery carried a shadow, and every breakthrough demanded a human price. During medieval times, fear mixed with religion. People were tortured in the name of faith, healing, and purity. Witches were burned, bodies were opened, minds were broken. I walk through stone corridors as a silent stickman witness, hearing prayers on one side and screams on the other. Experiments hid behind holy words. Pain was justified as salvation, and science learned to wear masks, pretending cruelty was devotion. Then came the age of exploration. New lands meant new victims. Indigenous people were injected, infected, and observed like animals. Diseases were introduced on purpose. I stand on foreign shores as a stickman explorer, pretending to help while secretly taking notes. Human bodies became data. Cultures became samples. The world expanded, but empathy shrank. History books call it discovery. The victims call it the beginning of disappearance. The Industrial Revolution changed everything. Machines rose, cities grew, and humans became replaceable parts. Factories tested endurance, doctors tested limits. Poor workers were used for chemical exposure, shock trials, and early vaccines. I run through smoky streets as a tired stickman laborer, coughing while someone writes results in a notebook. Progress accelerated, but compassion stayed behind. Technology advanced faster than morality ever could. World wars turned science into a weapon. Laboratories merged with battlefields. Prisoners became numbers. Organs were cut while hearts still beat. People were frozen, burned, and infected just to measure survival. I become a nameless stickman in striped clothes, standing under bright surgical lights. The data survived. The humans didn't. After the wars, the world promised never again, while quietly keeping the research. In secret facilities, governments tested radiation, chemicals, and psychological breaking points. Citizens were told they were receiving treatment. They were actually being watched as they slowly collapsed. I sit in waiting rooms as a hopeful stickman, believing in doctors who already decided my fate. Trust became the sharpest tool. Experiments didn't always need chains anymore. Sometimes all they needed was a clipboard and a smile. Cold War paranoia pushed experiments deeper underground. Sleep deprivation, mind control, isolation chambers. Scientists tried to rewrite human behavior. I float inside a silent room as a stickman subject, losing track of time while voices echo in my head. The goal wasn't healing, it was control. Bodies were studied, minds were hacked.
Humanity slowly learned that curiosity without limits becomes cruelty with credentials. Meanwhile, corporations joined the game. New drugs, new products, new shortcuts. Poor communities became testing zones. Side effects were hidden. Results were polished. I walk through clinics as a stickman patient, signing papers I don't understand. Somewhere far away, profits rise. Experiments didn't stop. They just learned better marketing. Pain became a line item. Ethics became optional. As technology evolved, surveillance replaced scalpels. Humans were studied through screens, behavior tracked, emotions analyzed. I scroll endlessly as a stickman modernist, realizing every click teaches someone how to manipulate me. Experiments now happen quietly, inside apps and algorithms. No blood, no screams, just invisible strings pulling choices. The lab is everywhere, and we're all inside it. Then came artificial intelligence. Machines began learning from us and about us, our fears, our habits, our weaknesses. I stand between code and humanity as a confused stickman narrator. Are we teaching AI, or is it studying us? Experiments now run in digital space, predicting reactions before they happen. The test subjects don't even know they're being tested anymore. What makes this history terrifying isn't just the suffering, it's how normal it all became. Every era believed it was different. Every generation said it was necessary. I replay these moments as a traveling stickman, jumping between timelines, watching the same pattern repeat. Power discovers a shortcut. Humans pay the cost. Then memory fades, and the cycle resets. Some experiments were exposed. Others vanished into classified archives. Many victims never received justice. Their stories dissolved into paperwork. I kneel beside forgotten graves as a silent stickman, tracing names that history erased. We celebrate innovation, but rarely honor those who were broken to achieve it. Progress remembers results. It forgets faces. The scariest part, most experiments didn't start evil. They started curious. Someone asked a question. Someone wanted answers faster. Someone decided consent was inconvenient. I act out these moments as different stickmen, showing how easy it is to cross the line when nobody's watching. Monsters don't always look like villains. Sometimes they look like professionals. Today, experiments are cleaner, quieter, and more advanced, but the danger remains. Data replaces blood. Algorithms replace cages. I walk through glowing cities as a future stickman, wondering who controls the systems that study us. Technology doesn't remove cruelty, it just changes its shape, and history proves that power always tests limits. Every era believed it was civilized. Every era still sacrificed someone. I've been the caveman, the prisoner, the patient, and the digital profile. As your stickman narrator, I carry all their memories. This isn't just about the past, it's about patterns, about how easily humans trade empathy for efficiency. So, next time you hear about a breakthrough, ask who paid for it. When progress is announced, wonder what was hidden. I stand before you now as a simple stickman, holding centuries of quiet suffering. History doesn't repeat because we forget. It repeats because we choose comfort over confrontation. If this story feels heavy, it should. These experiments weren't accidents. They were decisions made by people against people. And unless we remember, we risk becoming both scientist and subject all over again. I step back into the timeline, leaving you with one question. Are we finally learning from history or just building better laboratories?